What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel where you subscribe for daily updates on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Our charts are playing out nicely. Is this going to be an extremely bad week for Bitcoin? We're going to take a look at that. I'm going to show you some stuff that happened in the past, and we're going to compare it. Also, make sure you stick around to the end. We're going to go down into the smaller time frames and look for the more immediate price action also. Don't forget, there's a free Discord group. There's a link down below in the description. Definitely check it out. It's an awesome community, guys, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Always do your own due diligence and own research before investing in any market. We're going to take a look at the Fear and Greed Index, but first, I want to remind you we are doing a Ledger Nano-esque giveaway on Sunday. All you have to do is make sure you're subscribed to the channel, make sure your notification bell is ticked, scroll down a little bit, hit that thumbs up button, and leave a comment below. That'll get you entered to win. I'll be picking a random comment on Sunday from a random video throughout the week. So don't miss out especially if you don't have a wallet yet. You should definitely have a hard wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. All right, we are in the neutral zone. We raised 5 points from yesterday, so confidence is getting a little bit better in the market. Let's take a look at the monthly. We've been talking about this for well over a month. Higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That's bearish divergence on the monthly, guys. That is not looking good for Bitcoin. Also, this trend line right here, a close above this, I would turn bullish. Anything below, I remain bearish. And as of right now on the monthly, this is at about 10,900. Let's take a look at, this is what I had posted on the thumbnail here. And if you take a look at these candles, I have them numbered. The one candle over here, as you can see, green candle with a little wick up top. Let me move this up a little bit so you can see it. Same thing, green candle with a little wick on top. And then we had like a hammer candle here on 2, hammer candle here, and then 3, of course, we had another hammer and another hammer, almost a doji. This is more of a hammer in my opinion. And then look at the next weekly candle. Looks like we will most likely be getting the same thing if this plays out the way I believe it's going to play out. Let's take another look at the weekly. Let's zoom in, look at this long-term yellow dotted trend line and see what that's looking like. If we look at the top of this trend line is about, it's actually on this showing about 10,935. A break above that and a close above could be bullish for Bitcoin. But other than that, like I said, anything below this, I'm going to remain bearish. I do think we are going to see some lower lows, guys. As you can see, price action's rising in the weekly. And if you look here, the volume is just declining to next to nothing. Let's take a look at the EMAs, and then we'll take a look at the RSI. As of right now, we are getting resistance at the 8 EMA, which is around 10,750. Getting support on the 13 EMA, which is 10,578. A break of that. The next line of support is, hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Next line of support is about 10,220. If that breaks, we are looking at the 55 EMA at around 9,200, 9,250, right in that range. And then, of course, the trend line down here around 8,800, which makes a lot of sense. Let's look at the RSI. And taking a look at the RSI, as you can see over here, we had what looked like a head and shoulders, broke down through. And here looks like we are forming another one. A break of this trend line on the weekly, guys. It's going to get real ugly real quick. But there is another bounce here, and we'll talk about that also. If you look at this candle that I was talking about dropping here, we did drop down. We rode along the 55 EMA for a little while, had a quick dip below it, it came back up. So we will most likely get another bear trap or a bull trap after riding around this 9,200 for a while. We could come back up and test the $10,800 range, somewhere in that area. So be aware of that. There looks like, you know, it looks bearish. There's no other way to look at it. This thing is bearish as hell, guys. I don't care what the moon boys say or whatnot. This thing is definitely bearish in my opinion. But anyways, what I've been talking about, life-changing trade or buy opportunity down here at the bottom of this trend line on the weekly is going to be a huge buy opportunity. That could be down to the $3,000 level. I'll show you why it doesn't have to be, but it is looking more and more likely. All right, so let's take a look at the daily here. Looking at the daily, as you can see, we had this rising broadening wedge in white. The measured move of that's around 38.20. Guys, we have a CME futures gap that you can see in the 8-hour at 35.70. There's nothing saying it has to go there, but if you're not aware and you don't believe it's going to go down there, the more people that don't believe it, the more likely it's going to happen. Just be aware that that's down there. And then let's look at this pink rising broadening wedge, and if we take a measured move, if we were to break down today, and I'm not saying we have to break down today, but it's around 10,090, 10,100, a break of that, and then our target would be around the 6,500. Also, there's this trend line here that if we did come directly down and bounce off, it would be around the 7150, which is close to around the 0.618 fib. We'll also take a look at that in a second. Other than that, there's nothing more I need to show in here. Prime XBT, if you guys have not checked it out yet, I definitely suggest it. Is by far the best exchange. The other ones trade against you, and the reason I quit promoting them is they pay a lot more. Trust me, they pay a whole lot more. That's why other YouTubers promote them, but they do trade against you and they search for your stops and everything else, so be careful. Prime XBT is definitely much more fair. You can use my promo code Savy50. That'll get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as a bonus to use towards your margin. Savy25 will get you 25% off of your fees. I am currently still in my shorts. I still have another short waiting around 10,855, and 10,900 is where I have my stops currently. As of right now, we started this account with 0.1 Bitcoin. Now we're at 0.21, but I am currently in the trade. Sorry about that. I got too many tabs open, but anyways, I'm definitely looking for a drop here, to at least around the 10,500 again. And, if that breaks, then obviously we should be going down towards the $10,200, $10,100 range. So keep an eye on that. And a lot of people ask how the leverage works on Prime. Let's just do a quick example. If you had $100 in your account and you wanted to play, $1,000, that would be, you times your 100 by 10, that would be $1,000 that you would be on 10x leverage. If you wanted to play, you had $100 in and you wanted to play 10,000, that would be 100 times 100 would be 100x. That would be $10,000 play. Just so you can, kind of figure it out a little bit. 20 times 100 would be 2,000. So if you did a $2,000 play with $100 in your account, that would be 20 times leverage. But be careful if you are using leverage, especially if you're new. But anyways, yeah, check it out. There is life-changing opportunities coming, guys. So make sure you got an account set up, or if you are going to be trading it. And Prime, you can trade Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow, everything on this one exchange. All right, let's look at the daily in a different view. So this is what I've been talking about, looking for a capitulation coming soon. If you look over here, when we had the outbreak, we were calling for 5,300. Everybody was calling me crazy, and we went all the way down to 3,800. And you can see what happened here. We're forming pretty much the same thing here, guys. Let's take a look at the measured moves here. If we were to break down out of this rising broadening wedge here, the first measured move is around 8,888. There's other things that point to that too, but let's take a look at it as a bear flag. If we took a look at it as a bear flag, it's about 86.60. That's what I'd be looking for. And if you take a look at the RSI, last time that happened was over here, and we're making pretty much the same thing. I am looking for this. Now let's take a look at one more thing on the RSI. Right here you can see we made slightly higher highs in the RSI, and if we look at the same thing up here, lower lows in the RSI, that is hidden bearish divergence. That's a continuation of the trend. We're most likely going to come back down and retest this trend line around 10,424, a break of that. Then we'd be looking at the 200 EMA at around 9,900. All right, let's take a look at the 4 hour, and we'll take a look at our Fibonacci retracements here. So looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, the measured move of that is 6,000 from where we broke down here. Then if you look at what's going on right here, let's take a measured move of this. I'll zoom in a little bit, and then we'll take a look at the Fibonacci retracements. So if we took a look at this as a bear flag or a falling channel, or I'm sorry, a bear flag or a symmetrical triangle, a break of this is most likely going to get us right around, and I'll put a target down there. It's going to get us right around 8,880 range. Again, that is looking more and more likely, and many things are pointing to it. And again, guys, I know that there's a lot of super bullish people out here. Just be careful. You know, I could be wrong, but everything is pointing down. It's been pointing down. I've been calling this for a long time. And people are still super bearish. Look at where we were. We were at 12.4. We are going down, guys. I don't know. People like to get way too bullish, and I'll get bad comments on this. You're crazy. We're not going down, blah, blah, blah. Look at the chart. We are bearish as hell, guys. Now, let's take another look at, let me get this out of the way, and we'll look at this as a bear flag here. And what does that bring us to? If we were to break down there, that gets us down to the 86.50 range. But I'm not going to put a target there right now. Let's look at the Fibonacci retracements. And what we did, we took the Fibonacci retracement tool from the swing low to the swing high. First line of support, we broke through, came back above it, and as of right now, we're still above it. But another break of this, it's most likely straight to the downside. 10,425, that's our 0.236 fib. Then the next stop would be around the 9,200, which is the 0.382 fib. And then, of course, our 8,800. If that breaks, 8165 is our 0.5 fib. And then we have our golden pocket zone here between 68.50 and 71.41. That's the golden pocket area, which is between the 0.65 and 0.618. If that breaks, then we're looking at that target of 6,000. 0.786 is around 56.75. And then we're most likely looking for that 35.70 range. And we could even go lower than that if we get down there, guys, because there's going to be some capitulation going on. And I'm not saying it's going to happen. We're going there this week. This probably could take months, weeks at least. But this week is looking pretty bearish, guys. So be aware of that. And that's pretty much about it on this one. Let's take a look at my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. Definitely check it out. There's a link below in the description. Tons of cool crypto stuff on here. She can put anything you want, any project, any saying, family pictures, whatever you want on any of this stuff. Just hit her up in the contact. Let's take a look at the 1 hour now. All right, so the 1 hour, we're looking at this as a rising channel where we broke down. We take a measured move of that. It's 9,700. Remember, we have a gap at 9,700 too, and I've been talking about this. There's going to be tons of people trying to long that, thinking that it's just a gap fill. Be careful. I do believe it'll be a long squeeze, and it will plummet from there. So be aware. That is what I'm looking for. I could be dead wrong, but that is what I'm looking for. And let's take a measured move. I know they're looking at this as a rising, or I'm sorry, as a head and shoulders up here too, although I like the rising channel better. But if we look at it as the head and shoulders, we already hit that target. Which was 9,900 way back over here. But as of right now, still looking for at least that 9,700. Now let's zoom in a little bit and look at the more immediate price action. So we had this rising broadening wedge here. The measured move of that is 10,200, which is just measuring the widest point of the wedge where it broke down. And boom, we had this trend line drawn in yesterday. I said a break of this, continuation of bearishness, and we did break it. The 400 EMA right now is at 10,660 area. A break of that, most likely heading down to our targets down here. And I'm actually going to widen these up a little bit. And guys, time is one of the hardest things to judge. Direction's not as hard. Timing of the market is the hardest thing to judge. I'm going to extend this one also. Put this over here. Still looking for that 10,200 range as this target. But it is looking pretty bearish, guys. That's all I got to say. It's looking bearish. We are getting some hidden bullish divergence here. We may get another bounce up. Retest this trend line again around the 10,800, whatever, somewhere in that range. Dollar index, we talked about this yesterday, and I talked about it in the group. A close below this support line could be bearish. Of course, we're getting back above it again. Does look like DXY is looking to pump, and when DXY pumps, Bitcoin dumps. Where I would be looking for a possible Bitcoin reversal, if Bitcoin dumps, dollar index pumps up to right around this range, 95.85. We've had this target forever, which is just a measured move from this rising or falling broadening wedge, and it would line up with the 200 EMA on the daily also. That is what I'm looking for. When it gets up in this area, I would be looking to long Bitcoin for a short period of time anyway, which is going to be, like I said, this could be weeks, guys. Let's take a look at Litecoin. Same thing, nothing's changed, guys. My charts don't change unless they're invalidated. We had higher highs in the RSI here, lower highs in the price action, hidden bearish divergence. My first target here is 38.62, which is a measured move from this rising channel. Second target is looking at this as a bear flag, measuring this as the flagpole, go down 31.25. Ethereum, and I want to talk a little bit about something else here in a minute too. But anyways, Ethereum, still nothing's changed. Its target still at 246.91 from this rising broadening wedge. And then looking at this as a bear flag, 200 is the target there. Nothing has changed there. Be careful, guys, with the institutional money. I do have a chart here I will show you real quick that shows that we may not break the all-time high. It's possible all the way until 2024. And that being just looking at each time the high was broken, how long it took. And it's not exact, but it's, just an estimate. Each time it took about 65 or actually like 110% longer to break. And the lows should be coming within the next couple weeks here. Within the next couple weeks, maybe next 2 months. We should see the final low according to this. And 2024 makes sense. If you remember who got elected as president in 2016 and then 2017, we had this bump because they wanted to tame, and they admitted to taming Bitcoin. Well, if they get another 4 years, 2024 is when that ends, and they will most likely be taming it. And you can make a lot of money because it could be ranging in between, the $14,000 and $5,000, $14,000 and $3,000 range. So anyways, I just wanted to point that out, guys, to anybody that's interested. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think 2024 is possible before we see a new all-time high or a break of the 20K? Or do you think that's just crazy? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Thanks for all the support you've been giving me. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment, and definitely share the video if you belong to any groups and you feel that you get something out of these videos. Anyways, I'm out of here. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow.